Last month, there were more than 200 wildfires burning in Canada. Almost half of them are considered out of control. More significantly, more than 1 million acres have burned in the U.S. But wait. Was the weather, or was the world trying to send us a message? Last week, things got really violent. Tornadoes danced across the sky in north. People saw bright lightning and scary dark clouds. In Canada, wildfires burned forests again, and people were upset that the government didn't send enough planes to stop the fires. But the drama wasn't just on Earth. The sky above us had a lot going on too. Mercury is still moving backward in Leo. That's why some of us are feeling confused. Maybe old friends or exes came back. Maybe our words didn't come out right, and Neptune started going backward too. It makes us dream, but also wonder what's real and what's not. And now this week, the sky is bringing even more surprises. On July 7th, Uranus moves into Gemini. That's a big deal. It only happens once every 84 years. This means new ideas, new tech, and maybe shocking news. It's a time when the world can change very fast, especially how we talk and think. At the same time, the U.S. sets a deadline for tariff negotiations with many countries. This could cause sudden changes and unexpected news. In trade talks, Mercury's retrograde in Leo may cause misunderstandings or delay. Saturn's retrograde in Aries starting July 13th asks for caution and revisiting strategies. Financially, people should stay flexible and avoid impulsive decisions as market volatility is possible. The full moon in Capricorn on July 10th highlights responsibility and long-term planning, so it's a good time to review budgets and investments. Patience and careful communication are key this week amid political and economic shifts. Then midweek on July 10th, we'll see a full moon in Capricorn. This moon is serious. It asks, what are you building? Are you working hard or just talking? It wants us to take action. And on July 13th, Saturn starts moving backward in Aries. This means it's time to slow down and think about what we're really doing. No more rushing. So if last week felt strange, this week might feel even bigger. But don't worry, we'll be guided. Let's look at each zodiac sign and see what the stars have planned for you. Welcome back to Power Up English. Please remember, this is not only horoscope telling about your personal energy, but also English learning. In today's video, we'll learn not only English words of our strength and weakness, but also the idiom for each horoscope for the week. Before we start, please subscribe Power Up to support this channel to continue. Let's begin.
Aries. This week urges Aries to balance bold moves with patience. Unexpected changes bring chances to grow, but require careful thought. Trust your instincts but avoid reckless actions. Your strength this week is resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. In other words, Aries faces challenges head-on and bounces back stronger. But your weakness is impulsiveness, acting without thinking carefully. In other words, Aries may rush into decisions that cause trouble. The best idiom for Aries this week is strike while the iron is hot. It means take action at the right moment. Why it fits. Because Aries energy is high now, but timing is key. Taurus. Taurus will face tests of endurance and must stay calm. Progress may feel slow, but steady efforts pay off. Avoid resistance to helpful advice. Your strength is patience. You're calm and can wait for the right moment. In other words, Taurus steadily works toward goals without giving up. But your weakness is stubbornness. Unwilling to change your mind or try something different. In other words, Taurus may resist new ideas even if they're useful. The best idiom for you is, slow and steady wins the race. That means, consistent effort leads to success. Why it fit? Because Taurus' steady nature helps overcome obstacles. Gemini. This week asks Gemini to embrace change, rather than resist. Communication skills will open doors. Watch for moments of doubt and push through. Your strength this week is adaptability. It means ability to adjust to new conditions. In other words, Gemini thrives when facing changes and new ideas. But your weakness is indecisiveness. Difficulty making choices. In other words, Gemini may hesitate and miss chances. The best idiom for Gemini this week is, go with the flow. Accept things as they come. Why it fits? Because Gemini's strength is in adapting quickly. Cancer. Cancer will find strength in openness and honesty. Emotional moments may arise but lead to healing. Set boundaries to protect yourself. Your strength this week is empathy. Ability to understand others' feelings. In other words, Cancer supports loved ones with care and kindness. But your weakness is moodiness. Changing emotions quickly and unpredictably. In other words, Cancer can feel overwhelmed and react emotionally to small issues. The best idiom for Cancer this week is, wear your heart on your sleeve. That means, show emotions openly. Why it fits? Because Cancer's caring nature needs balance this week. Leo. Leo should step forward with courage and self-belief. Opportunities for leadership appear. Watch pride and stay humble. Your strength this week is confidence. That means belief in oneself. In other words, Leo shines by taking leadership and inspiring others. But your weakness is pride. That means excessive self-esteem. In other words, Leo may struggle to admit mistakes. The best idiom for Leo this week is, fortune favors the bold. That means courage often leads to success. Why it fits? Because Leo's natural boldness is supported this week. Virgo. Virgo must focus on tasks carefully to avoid mistakes. Organizing plans leads to progress. Let go of the need for perfection. Your strength this week is detail-oriented. It means careful attention to small things. In other words, Virgo excels by being precise and organized. But your weakness is perfectionism. That means seeking flawlessness. In other words, Virgo may stress over minor issues. The best idiom this week is, the devil is in the details. It means small things matter a lot. Why it fits? Because Virgo's focus on details will help solve problems. Libra. Libra is asked to make clear choices this week. Communication will ease tension. Don't delay decisions. Your strength this week is diplomacy. That means skill in handling people and situation. In other words, Libra excels in creating harmony and resolving conflict. But your weakness is indecision. That means difficulty making choices. In other words, Libra may avoid decisions to keep peace. The best idiom for Libra this week is kill two birds with one stone. That means achieve two goals with one action. Why it fits? Because Libra's balance helps manage complex situations. Scorpio. Scorpio faces challenges that test willpower. Stay focused and don't give up. Emotional control will help. Your strength this week is determination. That means firmness of purpose. In other words, Scorpio pursues goals with passion and focus. But your weakness is jealousy. That means resentment toward others' success. In other words, Scorpio may feel insecure or possessive. The best idiom for Scorpio this week is where there's a will, there's a way. Its meaning is if you are determined, you will find a way. Why it fits? Because Scorpio's inner drive fuels success. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is encouraged to act boldly and embrace change. Travel or learning may bring growth. Avoid impatience. Your strength is optimism. Optimism means positive outlook on life. In other words, Sagittarius inspires others with hope and joy. But your weakness this week is restlessness. It means difficulty staying still. In other words, Sagittarius may jump from one thing to another. The best idiom this week is make hay while the sun shines. It means take advantage of good conditions. Why it fits? Because Sagittarius energy calls for seizing opportunities. Capricorn. Capricorn must focus on long-term goals. Patience and steady work pay off. Avoid stubbornness or rush. Your strength this week: discipline. It means self-control and order. In other words, Capricorn achieves goals through hard work and planning. But your weakness is rigidity, difficulty adapting. In other words, Capricorn can resist new ideas. The best idiom for Capricorn this week is Rome wasn't built in a day. That means great things take time. Why it fits? Because Capricorn's slow, steady effort fits the week's energy. Aquarius. Aquarius is invited to try new approaches and break routines. Social connections bring unexpected help. Avoid emotional withdrawal. Your strength this week is innovation, ability to create new ideas. In other words, Aquarius thrives on originality and progress. But your weakness is aloofness, meaning emotional distance. In other words, Aquarius may seem detached or unapproachable. The best idiom for Aquarius this week is think outside the box. That means be creative and open-minded. Why it fits? Because Aquarius' inventive spirit matches Pisces. Pisces needs to stay grounded. Despite distractions, use intuition wisely. Prepare for changes with calm focus. Your strength this week is compassion, deep sympathy for others. In other words, Pisces offers kindness and understanding. But your weakness is escapism. Avoiding reality. Pisces may avoid problems by daydreaming. The best idiom for Pisces this week is calm before the storm. That means a peaceful period before trouble. Why it fits? Because Pisces sensitivity calls for steady preparation.
As the sun is continuously releasing energy, opportunities are bright for the taking. So, remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and don't forget to stay wise. Your best results come from balance with patience. Thanks for watching. Keep shining, and see you next time.